Welcome to a new In the Mail. My usual introductory line would say that this is the series that will touch both your passion for electronics and your bank account at the same time, but in this episode it's not about electronics, it's mostly some outdoor / camping / surviving gear that I got for my adventures, and I think some of you might find this interesting, especially as our social behavior is changing now, and during this summer we might spend more time in the nature than we used to. I'm gonna start with this Paracord rope. This is 4 millimeters wide, 30 meters long or 100 feet with 7 inner strands. This is rated for 550 pounds or 250 kilograms minimum breaking strength. So this would work for anything when you go outdoors, tying stuff around your camp, tying stuff for transport, but obviously not recommended for anything where your life might depend on it. I will try to keep this stuff in my backpack whenever I go camping because it's pretty light and compact, and you never know when you need to improvise and tie something down. The particular seller where I got this offers it in 250 different colors and styles, so there is plenty to choose from. Also in a bunch of different colors. You can get your PCBs manufactured professionally by the sponsor of this video, jlcpcb.com. You can pick any solder mask color with no extra cost, because even if you go in a vacation, you will come back eventually and you will need to finish those projects and assemble your PCBs. Next up, I have a couple of elastic reflective strips. These attach with some Velcro, and you can use them when you go running or biking. You can place these on your arms or legs to improve visibility and decrease the chance of someone hitting you. Unfortunately, this particular model only has the Velcro on the ends, so if your particular arm or leg does not fit this size, you're probably going to have a hard time attaching these. Ideally, you'll want to do your running away from the road where cars would be traveling, but if you're on a bicycle and you live in Romania where there are almost no bicycle tracks, that's kind of hard to avoid, so I keep a few of these around. Most of you are probably also drivers and you know how difficult it is to see someone when it is dark outside and they're dressed in dark colored clothes with no reflective features. I also take these with me when I go camping or hiking. I throw these into my backpack. They're pretty light, just in case I need to be easily spotted from a distance. As usual, you'll find links to this in the description below the video. If you're like me and sometimes you go out jogging and you like to be as light as possible, for example, I only have my Xiaomi Mi Band for tracking the activity. I don't take my phone with me, but there is always the house keys which I store in my pants pockets. They kind of bother me the whole way by rattling in there. So this is what this product is supposed to solve. It's a hand wrist pouch for carrying stuff on your wrist. And this is perfect for something small like your keys. You can put them in here. There's a zipper to secure them. You can also carry like a credit card, access card, some money. And I believe this is going to feel better than putting the keys in my pocket. But it remains to be seen, as I have yet to test this into the real world. But it was pretty inexpensive, so it might be worth to order one to see if it would help you during your activities. In my previous non-electronic items mailbag, I've ordered some of these travel bag straps, and one of them arrived pretty late, is this black one. In any case, if you haven't seen that video, I will link it on screen right now so you can check it out. These are useful to keep your luggage safe during long travels, but they can also be used for strapping various other stuff when you go traveling or camping, so I always pack one of these during my travels, and it has proven useful on more than one occasion. Next up, I have what looks like a professional carabiner, and this one appears to be branded by a company named, let's see, Camnal or Camnol. It has some markings like the CE mark, and it also mentions the EN 12275 standard, which regulates safety requirements and test methods for mountaineering equipment. I had to Google that one, and it looks to be well made, good quality, and it was more expensive than the cheap carabiners you can find on AliExpress, which are specifically marked as not to be used for climbing. So I believe this one might be the real deal, designed to be used for climbing and tested. I believe this rating of KN25, it's supposed to mean it's able to hold up to 2.5 tons, but I'm not an expert on these things, so obviously don't take my advice. One thing that seems weird to me is that this lock does not fully close, does not appear to fully close all the way. Sure, there is this secondary lock that you can screw in, and this should prevent it from coming undone, but it just doesn't feel right to me for this piece not to slide all the way in. So maybe there are people that know more about this than I do. Please let me know in the comments below if it's normal to sit like this. I will personally be using this for simple stuff like anchoring a hammock or something like that between two trees. However, I did see some nice reviews for this product from other users. I also spotted some images with happy customers using this for climbing, so I would maybe appreciate some feedback in the comments below from those of you that are more experienced in this subject. On the other hand, if you just plan to use these for general purpose stuff like I do, you can go ahead and order one, and there will be no safety risk if your hammock gives. The link will be in the description below the video. Now, if you are wondering about the multi-tool knife that I've been showing in the background for the whole video, this is not part of the Mailbag directly. This is just my Swiss Army knife, the one that I received from Andreas Spies from Switzerland. It's a very nice knife, and I thought it would complement the background of this video nicely, because this is also something that I always take with me when I go hiking or camping. Next, I got myself one of these compact emergency wire saws, and I've been lucky enough as a child to play with various military survival gadgets, as my father was working in the military, and I remember playing with a Russian-made military-grade saw similar to this one that was packed in the Air Force pilot's survival kit. The quality wasn't great on those. I remember they were quite easy to break, so I'm wondering if this one would survive better, because I did get it for cheap, so I don't have really high hopes for this. I'm not gonna test this on video, because the only thing I could test this on would be the legs of the workbench which I'm working on, and that won't be very wise of me. Next, I have one of these fire starting flint tools, and this one is nicely designed to keep the magnesium part safe and dry inside the aluminium tube. And everything you need is included here. The scraping tool part is part of this as well, and everything screws together, which is nice. Nothing can get lost as long as you screw it together. So the way you would use this is you would screw this back on the handle and then use the small knife to generate the sparks. In the bag, I also noticed they included a couple of O-rings, replacement O-rings, because I suspect you can even submerge this underwater. It has an O-ring in here, so this would really keep your flint dry and ready to spark whenever you need it. I have some other flint fire starting tools, but this one with the built-in aluminium storage looked very nice, and I think this should complement my survival kit nicely. On top of that, it was fairly inexpensive. It's not very big, so if you want something that would produce a bigger spark, maybe you should search for something bigger, but for me this will be enough, because with a bit of preparation and having the right stuff in your kit, you don't need a lot of sparks to get a fire started. This is what I meant earlier by having the right stuff for starting a fire. In this box I have some wood sticks which have been soaked in special oils and pine rosin, and they are pine wood actually, which makes them very flammable. These should catch fire even with moderate humidity, but as I'll probably store them in this metal case, they should be nice and dry if I ever need to use these. I think there are other options available as well. There are variants based on some cotton balls which are impregnated in flammable oils, or you can just prepare yourself some birch bark which you can keep dry in a similar box, which would also start the fire pretty nicely. I have another couple of items on my list which have not arrived so far, and they may be lost or they may arrive eventually, we'll have to see. But I'll mention them here because they are related. I plan to put those in my survival kit, and I'm not gonna do a separate video just for those if they show up eventually. The first one is a bear bell, which is a simple metal bell that you attach to your backpack while hiking. It will rattle while you walk just to let the wildlife know there is someone present. You don't want to be taking a bear by surprise because it might react unpredictably. Romania is home to the biggest brown bear population in the EU, about 6,000 live in our woods, and so there is a slight chance you will encounter one while hiking in remote areas, but if the bear can hear you coming, it will most likely move out of your way before you can see him. And the second item is a survival whistle, because there is nothing worse than being in a survival situation and having no way to signal your position from a distance when someone is searching for you. This model is made out of titanium, or so they claim, and this would help a lot by making it very robust and corrosion resistant, so it would be nice if it were really made out of titanium. I'm not sure if I can check that when I receive it in some easy way. I'm also suspecting it might be possible to use it as a beer opener, but I'm not sure, there's no mention of that, so I might be wrong. There is also no mention of how loud this would be, and if you already have one of these, I would love to hear your feedback in the comments. That was all for today. I hope you enjoyed watching these non-electronic outdoor survival related items. Let me know in the comments if you already have this stuff or if you have better recommendations, and stay safe during your adventures. If you'd like to see more mailbag videos, just click here for a playlist of all the mailbag videos I ever published. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.